Jake Morrison sat in his small patrol ship, watching the stars through the front window. He had been flying alone for 3 hours now. The empty space around him was quiet and peaceful. His job was simple: check the outer edges of human space for any problems. The radio on his control panel made a soft beeping sound. Jake looked at the screen. There was a message from his base commander, Lisa Rodriguez. "All clear out there, Jake?" Her voice asked through the speaker. Jake pressed a button to answer. "Everything looks normal, Commander. Just empty space and stars. Good. Come back in 2 hours. We have new orders for you." Jake was about to answer when another sound came from his radio. This sound was different. It was weak and full of static. Someone was calling for help, but the signal was very far away. Jake turned dials on his radio to make the signal clearer. The voice spoke in a language he did not know, but he could hear fear and pain in the voice. Someone was in big trouble. Jake looked at his computer screen. The signal came from a place where no human ship should be. It was dangerous space, full of pirates and broken ships. His orders were clear: stay in safe areas only. But someone needed help. Jake made his choice. He turned his ship toward the signal and pushed the engine to full speed. The stars outside began to move faster as his ship flew through space. After 30 minutes, Jake saw something on his scanner. It was a large ship, but it looked strange. The shape was not like any human ship he had seen. Long and curved, it looked almost like a bird with folded wings. As Jake got closer, he saw the ship was badly damaged. Parts of its hull were torn open. Lights flickered on and off. Small fires burned in some areas. This ship was dying. Jake tried to call the alien ship on his radio. "Unknown vessel, this is Lieutenant Jake Morrison of Earth Defense Corps. Do you need help?" A voice answered in broken English. "Yes, help us, please." "Our ship is dying. Many people inside are hurt." Jake could see the ship more clearly now. It was 3 times bigger than his small patrol ship. Through holes in the hull, he could see strange beings moving around inside. They had blue-gray skin and were taller than humans. "What happened to your ship?" Jake asked. "Pirates attacked us. We are refugees. We carry old ones and children. Our engine is broken. Life support failing. Air running out." Jake's scanner showed him more bad news. 3 small ships were coming toward them fast. Pirates. They would be here in 20 minutes. "I see pirates coming," Jake told the alien ship. "Can you fight?" "No weapons. We are peaceful people." "Cannot fight," Jake thought quickly. His small patrol ship had some weapons, but not many. He could not fight 3 pirate ships alone. But he could not leave these people to die. "Listen carefully," Jake said to the aliens. "I am going to help fix your ship. Then we will run away together. Can you open your cargo bay for my ship?" Yes. "Thank you, human. Opening cargo bay now." Jake flew his ship into the large alien vessel. The cargo bay was huge and filled with strange machines. As soon as Jake landed, he grabbed his tools and ran toward the engine room. The aliens inside the ship looked at Jake with big, surprised eyes. They had never seen a human before. Jake saw they were scared but trying to be brave. Many were very old. Some were children. All of them looked tired and hurt. An old female alien walked toward Jake. She was wearing fancy clothes with bright colors. She looked important. "I am Matriarch Vala," she said in careful English. "You risk your life for strangers. Why?" Jake was working on the engine while he talked. "Because you need help. That is enough reason." Near Vala stood a younger female alien. She was hurt, with bandages on her arm and head, but her eyes were bright and smart. "I am Lyra," she said. "Vala is my grandmother. Thank you for coming." Jake found the problem with the engine. The power cables were cut and burned. He used his tools and spare parts from his ship to fix them. It was not a perfect fix, but it would work. "Pirates will be here in 10 minutes, Jake told them. "Your engine is fixed enough to fly, but not fast. We need to be smart, not fast." Jake ran back to his ship and flew out of the cargo bay. He had a plan. When the 3 pirate ships arrived, Jake was waiting for them. "Human ship." The pirate leader called on the radio. "Leave now or we will destroy you." "Come and try," Jake answered. The pirates thought one small human ship would be easy to defeat. They were wrong. Jake knew how to fight smart. He flew between the broken pieces of old ships floating in space. The pirates followed him into the metal maze. Jake used the floating metal like shields and weapons. He pushed pieces of broken ships into the pirate vessels. He hid behind large chunks of metal and shot at the pirates when they could not see him. The alien refugee ship began to move slowly away from the battle. Jake fought alone, keeping the pirates busy. His ship was hit several times, but he kept fighting. Finally, one pirate ship was damaged too badly to fight. The other two decided Jake was too dangerous and too smart. They flew away to find easier targets. Jake was tired and his ship was hurt, but he had won. He flew back to the alien ship. "You saved us," Vela said when Jake called them on the radio. "You fought 3 ships alone. You could have died." "But I did not die," Jake said, "and neither did you. That is what matters." Lyra's voice came over the radio. "In our culture, such bravery creates a sacred debt. We owe you our lives." Jake did not understand what that meant, but he was just happy everyone was safe. He helped guide the alien ship to the nearest human space station. He had no idea this rescue would change his life forever. New Haven Station was the biggest human base in the outer colonies. It floated in space like a giant metal city, with long arms reaching out in all directions. Ships came and went all day, bringing supplies and people to the frontier worlds. Jake guided the damaged alien ship to the station's main docking area. The huge refugee vessel looked strange next to the smaller human ships. People on the station stopped their work to stare at the unusual visitors. Commander Lisa Rodriguez was waiting for Jake when he landed his patrol ship. She was a tough woman with short black hair and serious eyes. She had been Jake's commanding officer for 2 years. "Jake, what the hell happened out there?" Lisa asked as Jake climbed out of his ship. "You were supposed to be on a simple patrol. Instead, you bring back a ship full of aliens we have never seen before." Jake told her the whole story, about the distress call, the damaged ship, the pirates, and the rescue. Lisa listened without saying anything. Her face showed no emotion. "You broke orders, Jake. You were told to stay in safe areas only." "Yes, Commander. But people were dying. I could not leave them." Lisa looked at Jake for a long moment. Then she smiled a little. "You did the right thing. But next time, call for backup first. We almost lost you out there." There was no time for backup. The pirates would have killed them all. Dr. Ben Parker walked up to them. He was the station's expert on alien life and cultures. He was a thin man with messy brown hair and thick glasses. He looked very excited. "Commander Lieutenant Morrison," Ben said quickly, "the aliens want to meet with Jake. They say it is very important. Something about honor and sacred debts." "Sacred debts?" Lisa asked. "Their culture is very complex. From what I can understand, Jake's actions created some kind of obligation. They feel they must repay him." Jake, Lisa, and Ben walked to the station's main meeting room. It was a large space with windows looking out at the stars. The alien delegation was already there waiting. Matriarch Vala stood at the front of the group. She wore long robes of deep blue and silver. Her blue-gray skin had patterns of darker lines like tattoos. Her large eyes were pale yellow. She looked very old but also very strong. Behind Vala stood 12 other aliens. They all wore formal clothes and looked important. Lyra was there too. Her injuries were healing well. She watched Jake with curious eyes. "Lieutenant Morrison," Vala said in careful English. Her voice was deep and musical. "You have done something wonderful for my people. In our culture, this creates a sacred bond," Ben whispered to Jake. "Just be polite and listen. This is important to them." Vala continued speaking. "You risked your life for strangers. You asked for nothing in return. You fought with courage and wisdom. These are the qualities we honor most." Jake felt uncomfortable with all the attention. "I just did my job, ma'am." Anyone would have done the same thing. The aliens looked surprised. They whispered to each other in their own language. Lyra stepped forward. "Lieutenant Morrison," Lyra said, "you do not understand. We have met many species in our travels across space. Most want payment for help. Most think only of themselves. You are different. We are the Zephyrians," Vala explained. "Our people are very old. We have been traveling among the stars for thousands of years. We have seen much cruelty and greed, but also kindness, though it is rare." Dr. Parker took notes on everything they said. This was the first time humans had met this alien species. Every word was important for future relations. "Your actions have created a debt," Vala continued. "In our culture, such debts must be repaid. We cannot rest until we have given you something equal to what you gave us." Jake shook his head. "You do not owe me anything. I am just glad everyone is safe." Again, the aliens whispered among themselves. They seemed amazed by Jake's words. Lyra translated for the others, then spoke to Jake. "You refuse payment? This makes the debt even greater. A being who saves lives and asks for nothing is truly rare." "My grandmother speaks the truth," Lyra added. In our long history, we have met few beings like you. Most species we know would demand gold, or ships, or territory for such a rescue. Jake looked at Commander Rodriguez. She nodded for him to keep talking. Look, Jake said, I am happy to help. If you need supplies or repairs for your ship, we can talk about that. But I do not want any reward. Dr. Parker stepped forward. Perhaps I can help explain. In human culture, helping others in danger is considered a basic duty. We call it the right thing to do. Most humans would act as Lieutenant Morrison did. The aliens talked among themselves for several minutes. Their language sounded like music with high and low tones. Finally, Vala spoke again. Dr. Parker, if what you say is true, then humans are a remarkable species. We have traveled far and wide, but we have never met a people who consider heroism a basic duty. Lyra was watching Jake very carefully. Lieutenant Morrison, may I ask you something personal? Sure. Do you have a family? A mate, children? Jake felt his face get warm. No, I am not married. I have been too busy with my military service. Grandmother, Lyra said in English, but looking at Vala. Perhaps this explains his bravery, a being who has no family to protect, yet still risks everything for strangers. Vala's yellow eyes seemed to light up with an idea. She spoke to the other aliens in their language. They nodded and made what sounded like agreeing noises. Lieutenant Morrison, Vala said, we will return to our people now. Our ship is repaired enough to travel, but this matter is not finished. The debt remains. Really, you do not owe me anything, Jake said again. You saved not just lives, but honor. Vala replied. You protected the weak and asked for nothing. This debt can only be repaid with something of equal value. As the aliens prepared to leave, Lyra approached Jake one more time. Thank you again for saving us, she said quietly. I hope we will meet again soon. Jake watched as the Zephyrian delegation left the meeting room. Dr. Parker was still taking notes and asking questions. Commander Rodriguez looked thoughtful. What do you think they meant about repaying the debt? Jake asked. Lisa shrugged. With aliens, you never know. Could be anything from a medal to a ship full of gold. Jake hoped it would be something simple. He had no idea that Matriarch Vala was already planning something that would change his life completely. 3 weeks passed quietly on New Haven Station. Jake went back to his normal duties, flying patrol missions and checking the outer borders of human space. The alien refugees had left to find a new home among the stars. Jake thought he would never see them again. He was wrong. Jake was in the station's cafeteria eating lunch when the alarm started ringing. The loud sound meant unknown ships were approaching the station. Everyone stopped eating and looked worried. Captain Amy Chen's voice came over the speakers. All personnel, we have 5 large vessels approaching. They appear to be the same alien type we met 3 weeks ago. All security teams to positions. Jake put down his food and hurried to the command center. Through the big windows, he could see the alien ships. They were much larger than the refugee vessel he had helped. These ships looked new and powerful. They had bright decorations painted on their hulls. Captain Chen was a small woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. She had been in charge of New Haven Station for 5 years. Nothing surprised her anymore, but today she looked confused. Jake, get up here, Captain Chen called. I think they want to talk to you. Dr. Parker was already at his computer trying to translate the alien messages. Captain, they are asking permission to dock. They say they carry an official delegation from the Zephyrian Council of Elders. Council of Elders? Jake asked. That sounds important. Very important, Dr. Parker said. From what I learned last time, the Council rules their entire species. If they sent a delegation here, this is serious business. Captain Chen made her decision. Give them permission to dock at Bay 7. Full honor guard. Jake, get into your dress uniform. Whatever this is about, we want to make a good impression. An hour later, Jake stood in the main docking bay wearing his best military uniform. Captain Chen, Dr. Parker, and 20 other officers waited with him. The alien ship attached to the station with a soft thud. The airlock door opened with a hiss. Matriarch Vala walked out first, but now she wore even fancier clothes. Her robes were covered with jewels that sparkled in the light. Behind her came 20 other aliens, all dressed in formal wear. Lyra was among them. She looked beautiful in a flowing dress of pale blue. Her injuries had healed completely. When she saw Jake, she smiled, but she also looked nervous. Captain Chen, Lieutenant Morrison, Vala said with a formal bow. Thank you for welcoming our delegation. The honor is ours, Captain Chen replied, also bowing. What brings you back to our station? Vala stood very straight and spoke in a loud, clear voice. We come with news of great importance. The Council of Elders has met to discuss the sacred debt owed to Lieutenant Morrison. After much discussion, we have reached a decision. Jake felt his stomach twist with worry. This sounded like it would be complicated. The Council has declared that Lieutenant Morrison's actions were of the highest honor. He risked his life for strangers. He fought bravely against superior numbers. He asked for no reward. These qualities mark him as a true hero. Captain Chen smiled. We are proud of Lieutenant Morrison. He represents the best of humanity. Indeed, Vala continued. The Council has decided that such a hero deserves our greatest honor. Lieutenant Morrison, we offer you marriage to my granddaughter, Princess Lyra, heir to the royal line of Zephyria. The docking bay became completely silent. Jake's mouth fell open. Captain Chen's eyes went wide. Dr. Parker dropped his notebook. Some of the other officers made quiet, choking sounds. Marriage, Jake finally managed to say. Yes, Vala said proudly. In our culture, marriage into the royal family is the highest honor we can give. You will become a prince of our people. Your children will be part of our royal line. This is how we repay the sacred debt. Jake looked at Lyra. Her blue-gray skin had turned a darker shade, which Dr. Parker later explained was how Zephyrians blushed. Captain Chen recovered first. Matriarch Vala, this is unexpected. In human culture, marriage requires the agreement of both people involved. We also have customs about courtship and getting to know each other first. Of course, Vala said. That is why we have come in person. Lieutenant Morrison and Princess Lyra will have time to meet properly. But the offer stands. The Council has spoken. Jake found his voice again. What if I say no? The alien delegation gasped. They whispered to each other in their musical language. Vala looked shocked. Lyra stepped forward. Lieutenant Morrison, Jake, if you refuse this offer, my people will see it as a terrible insult, not just to me but to our entire species. The Council of Elders does not make such offers lightly. But what do you want? Jake asked Lyra directly. Do you want to marry me? Lyra looked down at her feet. I am curious about you. Your bravery has become legend among my people. The stories of your rescue have spread to every Zephyrian colony. Children sing songs about the human hero who saved the refugees. That does not answer my question. Lyra looked up at Jake with her large yellow eyes. I admit I would like to know you better. You are not like anyone I have ever met. When you saved us, you showed kindness without expecting anything back. This is rare even among my own people. Dr. Parker whispered to Captain Chen. This is a diplomatic nightmare. If Jake says no, it could ruin relations with an entire alien species. But we cannot force him to marry someone. Jake heard the whisper. The weight of the situation began to sink in. His personal choice could affect the relationship between humans and Zephyrians forever. How long do I have to decide? Jake asked. Take all the time you need, Vala said. But know that Princess Lyra cannot be offered to another while this proposal stands. If you refuse, she will remain unmarried, and that would bring shame to our family. Lyra spoke up. Jake, I understand this is strange for you. It is strange for me too. But perhaps we could spend time together first. Learn about each other. Then you can make your choice with knowledge instead of fear. Jake looked around the docking bay. Captain Chen nodded encouragingly. Dr. Parker looked excited about the cultural exchange possibilities. The other officers watched with fascination. Jake made his decision. All right. I will spend time with Princess Lyra. I will learn about your culture and you can learn about mine. Then I will give you my answer. Vala smiled for the first time since arriving. This is wisdom. Take time to know each other. But remember, Lieutenant Morrison, the sacred debt still stands. One way or another it must be repaid. As the formal meeting ended, Jake wondered what he had gotten himself into. Marriage to an alien princess was not something they taught about in military training. But when he looked at Lyra's hopeful expression, he thought maybe it would not be so bad to get to know her better. After all, she had been brave enough to trust him with her life. The least he could do was trust her with his heart. The next 2 weeks were unlike anything Jake had ever experienced. Every day he met with Princess Lyra in the station's cultural exchange room. Dr. Parker was always there to help translate difficult concepts and prevent misunderstandings. The room had comfortable chairs, a large table, and computer screens showing information about both human and Zephyrian cultures. Large windows looked out at the stars, reminding them both that they came from different worlds. "Tell me about Earth," Lyra said on their third meeting. She sat across from Jake, her yellow eyes bright with curiosity. "What is it like to live on a planet with open skies?" Jake smiled. "It is beautiful. Blue skies, white clouds, green forests. The air smells like flowers in spring and snow in winter. There are oceans so big you cannot see the other side." "We had a world like that once," Lyra said sadly, "before the wars destroyed it. Now my people live on ships in small colonies. We dream of finding another home world." "What was your original planet like?" Zephyria Prime had purple skies and silver oceans. The cities floated in the clouds, connected by bridges of light. It took us 3,000 years to build that civilization. Jake could hear the sadness in her voice. "I am sorry you lost your home. That is why your rescue meant so much to us. You showed us that not all species think only of themselves. My grandmother believes humans might be the allies we have been searching for." Dr. Parker looked up from his notes. "Lyra, can you explain more about Zephyrian families? Jake does not understand why marriage is such a big honor in your culture." Lyra nodded. "Among my people, family bonds are sacred. Marriage creates connections between bloodlines that last for generations. When someone marries into the royal family, they become part of our genetic and cultural heritage forever." "But what about love?" Jake asked. "Do Zephyrians marry for love or just for politics?" "Both," Lyra said. "Royal marriages often begin as political alliances, but we believe that respect and shared experiences can grow into deep affection over time. The longest married couples in our history started as strangers." Jake found this hard to understand. "Humans usually marry for love first. We meet someone, fall in love, then decide to spend our lives together." "This sounds wonderful," Lyra said, "but also risky. What if the love fades? What if you choose badly because your emotions cloud your judgment?" "Sometimes that happens," Jake admitted. "But when it works, it creates something beautiful. Two people choosing each other freely, with no pressure from family or politics." Dr. Parker was writing everything down. "This is fascinating. Two completely different approaches to pair bonding." As the days passed, Jake and Lyra learned more about each other's worlds. Jake discovered that Zephyrians lived much longer than humans, up to 500 years. They had time to plan for centuries ahead. Decisions that seemed fast to humans were considered hasty by Zephyrian standards. Lyra learned that humans made quick decisions based on instinct and emotion. "You decided to save us in seconds," she said. "A Zephyrian would have spent hours considering all the risks and possibilities. But those people would have died while we were thinking," Jake pointed out. "Exactly. That is what makes humans special. You act on your moral feelings immediately. Most species think too much and feel too little." Jake began to admire many things about Lyra. She was incredibly intelligent, speaking 7 different alien languages. She had studied the histories of dozens of species. Despite being a princess, she worked hard to help refugees and the poor among her people. Lyra was fascinated by Jake's simple honesty. "You say exactly what you think," she told him. "Among my people, every word is carefully chosen for political meaning. But you speak from your heart without calculating the consequences." "Is that good or bad?" Jake asked. "It is refreshing," Lyra said with a smile that Jake was learning to love. But their growing friendship faced problems from both sides. Captain Chen received angry messages from Earth Command. "They want to know why we are allowing aliens to pressure one of our officers into marriage," she told Jake privately. "Some politicians think this could set a dangerous precedent." "What do you think?" Jake asked. "I think you are old enough to make your own choices. But be careful, Jake. A lot of people are watching this situation." Lyra faced similar pressure from her own people. Some Zephyrians thought humans were too primitive to join their royal family. Others worried that marriage to an alien would weaken their genetic line. "My cousin Marcus leads the opposition," Lyra told Jake sadly. "He thinks my grandmother has lost her mind by offering me to a human." "Maybe he is right," Jake said. "Maybe this is all crazy." "Do you think it is crazy?" Lyra asked. Jake looked into her yellow eyes. 3 weeks ago I would have said yes. But now, I do not know. "You are not what I expected." "What did you expect?" "I thought you would be strange and alien. Hard to understand, but you are just you, smart, kind, funny. You care about your people the same way I care about mine." Lyra moved closer to Jake on the couch. "I thought humans would be simple and crude. But you have depths I am still discovering. You think with your heart, but your heart is wise." Dr. Parker cleared his throat. Sorry to interrupt, but we have a problem. Both of your governments are sending representatives here. They want to monitor these meetings more closely. What does that mean? Jake asked. It means less privacy, more political pressure. People are going to try to influence your decision based on what they think is best for humanity, or for the Zephyrians. Jake stood up and walked to the window. Outside, both human and alien ships patrolled the space around the station. This is not about politics. This is about two people trying to understand each other. Lyra joined him at the window, but we cannot ignore the larger implications. If we choose to be together, we will be symbols. If we choose to part ways, we will still be symbols. What do you want, Lyra? Forget about politics and family pressure. What do you want? Lyra was quiet for a long moment. I want to keep learning about you. I want to see this Earth you describe. I want to understand how someone can be so brave and so humble at the same time. Jake turned to face her. I want to know more about you too. But I need to be sure this is real, not just gratitude or political necessity. How can we be sure? Jake took Lyra's hand. Her skin was warm and smooth, just like human skin. Time. We need more time together, away from all the pressure and politics. That may not be possible, Dr. Parker said gently. The representatives arrive tomorrow. After that, every conversation will be monitored and analyzed. Jake squeezed Lyra's hand. Then we better make tonight count. For the first time since the proposal, Jake felt like he was getting to know the real Lyra, not the princess or the political symbol. And what he found was someone he could easily care about, if the universe would give them a chance. The representatives from both governments arrived the next morning. Commander Frank Wilson came from Earth Command, a stern man who believed aliens could not be trusted. High Counselor Thane represented the Zephyrian hardliners who thought humans were too primitive for royal marriage. The meeting room was tense as both sides argued about Jake and Lyra's future. But their debate was interrupted by urgent alarms throughout the station. Captain Chen to all personnel, the speakers announced. Multiple pirate vessels approaching. All civilians to shelters immediately. This is not a drill. Jake ran to the command center with Lyra close behind him. Through the windows, they could see 6 large pirate ships heading toward the station. They were the same raiders who had attacked the refugee vessel weeks earlier. Captain Chen was giving orders rapidly. All fighters launch immediately. Raise shields to maximum power. Captain, Dr. Parker said from his computer station, the pirates are sending a message. Put it on speakers. A rough voice filled the command center. New Haven Station, this is Captain Kroger of the Blood Star Raiders. We know you are harboring our escaped prey. Hand over the Zephyrian princess and the human who embarrassed us, and we will leave peacefully. Captain Chen grabbed the radio. This is Captain Chen. You have no authority here. Leave immediately or face the consequences, Kroger laughed. Your little station cannot stop us. We have 6 warships. Surrender now or we will take what we want by force. Jake looked at Lyra. Her face was determined, not afraid. They came here because of us, she said. Then we will stop them, Jake replied. Commander Wilson stepped forward. Lieutenant Morrison, you will remain on the station. This is a job for professional fighters. With respect, sir, I know how these pirates fight. I have beaten them before. High Counselor Thane spoke to Lyra in their musical language. She answered sharply, then turned to the humans. My counselor says I should hide while others fight for me. I told him that is not the Zephyrian way. Captain Chen made the decision. Jake, get to your fighter. Lyra, can you pilot one of our ships? Zephyrian training includes combat flight, Lyra said. But your ships are different from ours. I will teach you, Jake said. We can link our fighters together. Your ship can follow mine automatically. As they ran toward the fighter bay, Jake quickly explained human fighter controls to Lyra. She learned fast, her alien intelligence adapting to the new systems in minutes. Stay close to me, Jake told her as they climbed into separate fighters. We work together just like we have been doing these past weeks. The battle began as soon as they launched from the station. The pirates had powerful ships, but they were not used to working together. Jake and Lyra flew as a team, covering each other and attacking in coordinated strikes. Jake's human instincts for quick decisions combined perfectly with Lyra's Zephyrian strategic thinking. When Jake dove into dangerous situations, Lyra was there to support him. When Lyra planned complex attack patterns, Jake executed them with precise timing. Behind you, Jake. Lyra called over the radio as a pirate ship tried to ambush him. Jake rolled his fighter away while Lyra fired at the attacker. Her shots hit perfectly, disabling the pirate's engines. "Nice shooting," Jake said. "Now follow me. We are going after their leader." Working together, they outmaneuvered the larger pirate vessels. Jake used his experience fighting these same raiders to predict their moves. Lyra used her knowledge of advanced alien tactics to find their weaknesses. The other human fighters followed their lead. What had started as a chaotic battle became an organized victory. One by one, the pirate ships were disabled or driven away. Captain Kroger's voice came over the radio one last time. "This is not over, human. We will find you again." "I will be waiting," Jake replied calmly. After the battle, Jake and Lyra landed their fighters back on the station. Both were tired but exhilarated. They had fought as perfectly matched partners. In the debriefing room, Commander Wilson looked impressed despite himself. "Lieutenant Morrison, that was exceptional flying. And Princess Lyra, your tactical skills are remarkable." High Counselor Thane spoke to Lyra in Zephyrian, then nodded respectfully to Jake. Lyra translated. "He says you fight with honor and wisdom. He withdraws his objections to our marriage." Jake looked around the room at all the watching faces. Representatives from both species waited for his decision. But now he knew what his heart told him. "Matriarch Vala," Jake said formally, "I accept your offer of marriage to Princess Lyra, but I have conditions." Vala raised an eyebrow. "Conditions? This marriage should not be just about repaying debts or creating political alliances. It should be about two people choosing to build a life together. I want us to have time to truly know each other before any ceremony." Lyra stepped forward and took Jake's hand. "I agree with these conditions. I choose Jake Morrison not because my grandmother commands it, but because I have seen his heart." "And I choose Lyra," Jake said, "not because of politics or pressure, but because she is brave, intelligent, and kind, because we fight well together and think well together." Matriarch Vala smiled broadly. "These are wise conditions. Love that grows from choice is stronger than love that comes from duty alone." 6 months later, the wedding ceremony took place on New Haven Station. It was unlike any wedding in history, blending human and Zephyrian traditions. Jake wore a formal military uniform decorated with Zephyrian symbols of honor. Lyra wore a flowing dress that combined human white silk with Zephyrian blue and silver. Captain Chen performed the human part of the ceremony. Matriarch Vala conducted the Zephyrian rituals. Representatives from dozens of species attended, making it a truly galactic celebration. "Do you, Jake Morrison, take Lyra as your partner in all things, to share both joy and hardship across the stars?" "I do." "Do you, Princess Lyra, take Jake as your partner in all things to build a bridge between our peoples through your union?" "I do." A year later, Jake and Lyra worked together on the first joint human Zephyrian colony. Jake used his military experience to organize defenses and exploration teams. Lyra used her diplomatic skills to negotiate with other alien species who wanted to join the colony. Children from both species played together in the streets, learning each other's languages and customs. What had started as a rescue mission had become the foundation for a new kind of community among the stars. Matriarch Vala visited often, always proud to see her granddaughter and the human hero working as equal partners. The sacred debt had been repaid, but more importantly, a new model for friendship between species had been created. Jake often stood at the colony's observation deck, watching ships arrive from Earth and Zephyria. His choice to save a group of refugees had changed not just his life, but the future of interstellar relations. Lyra would join him there, and together they would plan for tomorrow, knowing that some of the best decisions came from the heart, not the head.